But then would I get to pick another one? Because then I have 2 highest and 1 lowest. You know what? I'm making the executive decision right now. We're gonna pick 4 because I want to read this. I'm so excited to read this one. I'm not. See, now I'm like, why did I knew what I wanted to read, and it was this one. I guess I just needed to make this video for it. And then we had a ballad of songbirds and snakes. So I will come back to you when I start one of these. My 2 highest and my 2 lowest, which actually they're all pretty high, so that's kind of exciting. This should not be disappointing at all. All right, y'all, so I'm starting this video super late, but I am like 3 chapters into the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So far what's going on is that Snow is being introduced to his tribute this year, Lucy. He's going to be a mentor, and he's feeling upset because he feels like District 12, or well, District 12 is like the worst, basically the worst, especially with their tributes so far. Because remember, this is years before Candace, so this is like the 10th Hunger Game, right? So yeah, it's very early on in the Hunger Games where this is kind of just starting. And so Snow, he's not president yet. His grandma is like, you're gonna be president. So right now he lives in the capital, but he's on the poorer side. It's kind of interesting. I feel like it's starting off a little bit like slow. I don't know really how I feel about it. I'm gonna obviously continue reading. But yeah, I have like a killer headache, so I completely kind of forgot to record this. I put up my vlog just like episode 6, I think I just put up. So yeah, my nails did come off. If you watched that vlog, my nails came off. It did not come off in the lab. It actually came off when I was trying to be Bob the Builder at work and try to put stuff together. So like not all of them came off, but you know, one comes off and then it just doesn't look good. So then I just ripped them off. So I have a little bit of headache, so we're gonna do easy peasy chicken nuggets. I'm gonna listen to this. My little guest star in the back there. I don't even think I started off. I just started off like, hey guys, I'm reading. Yeah, there's like no introduction, but like, welcome back to my channel. I am doing the second part to my highest versus lowest. So this time I thought I would start with the lowest. And then I will be reading the highest after that, which is Powerless. And the reason why I decided to do that is because A Court of Silver Flames was tied with Powerless. So I decided to just do 2 parts to this video, especially after realizing how long the video was going to be. I was like, I need to do 2 parts. Yeah, I also decided to do that because I've been trying to read Crescent City, but now I don't even know when I'm going to get to that because I'm reading these 2 books and then I'm in the middle of an arc, and then I'm reading this really cute Halloween book. So this is the most books I've been in the middle of at one time. And then plus I still want to finish Vengeful. Because I can't find a lot of them on audio, that is also making it like a little bit harder to get through. But I do have this on audio, so I can go back and forth between the book. So I love that for me. I'm gonna see if I can find Legendborn on Audible. I can't find Vengeful. I probably would have to buy that, but I don't want to do that because I don't like, holidays are coming up and I'm getting really excited about Christmas. So we're gonna not buy audiobooks. So I'm gonna try to figure out what I want to do because there's a lot of books I want to get to before I start Harry Potter. So Harry Potter I might start that November, end of November, and get through all these books that I want to get to. Then I think I might start the Harry Potter, and then I think I'm kind of wanting to read more romance. Okay, so now I'm on like chapter 8, and I think, I don't know what I was talking about. I'm gonna have to watch a clip back. Though Snow's family very much so hates the rebels, okay? And so now he's being a mentor to Lucy because this new program with the college and everything like that. And so they don't even really know how it's going to affect their grade. They've just kind of been assigned to like mentor and come up with like ideals for the game, like the Hunger Game. And so Snow's kind of starting to see Lucy as like a human being, which is like weird to me because like beforehand see her as a human being, and I guess they're justifying it because she's not really from the district. She just kind of floated around, and they ended up in the districts, and then her name ended up being called for the reaping. So he's justifying that she's not really a district, so that's why she's like human, right? And so it's just weird, like they keep them in the zoo and they send veterinarians to help them because like there's all these incidents going on. And so it's just weird, they're keeping them in the zoo and then they're making them they're keeping them in the zoo and they're using a veterinarian to assist them. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they're human beings, they can get a human doctor, right? Like, why are they getting veterinarians to heal humans? Like, that's just weird to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why don't they just get a human doctor to help, and why are they putting them in the zoo? Like, all right, it just looks so funny how my bonnet is just like, because I washed my hair, so like I twisted it up so I have my bonnet on top of like the scarf. And it just looks so funny with the headphones on. Like, it looks so weird. But I'm now on chapter 12 of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I don't know why I cannot remember the name of this book to save my life. I always have to look like right here to remember the name of it. I do remember when I'm reading, but for some reason the name is not sticking in here. So far, chapter 12, it's seeming like Snow is, I guess he's falling in love with Lucy because he's getting all jealous a little bit. So I find that interesting because I just wonder how that's all gonna play out, because like he is kind of catching feelings for her. So I'm like, there's gonna be some romance in here, I'm guessing. Maybe some like actual real romance, because in the other, like the Hunger Games trilogy, like there's a whole love triangle, but like it just like, you know, PETA was just like, oh, that's who I should be with because we've made this show. And then Gail was like, oh, like a sweetheart, you know. So we'll see what we get in here. But I'll probably read for a little bit longer and then go to sleep, obviously, because I have this bonnet on my head, so it just looks so funny. Okay, you guys, it's like it's a couple of days that have passed by, and so I have finished A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I feel like I needed to get it together before I came here and I guess reviewed it. The reviews on Goodreads too, there were a lot of 2 stars, and I had to collect myself, get myself together on my feelings of the book. I feel like it wasn't bad for what it was, because remember, this book is about snow, but it's third person, so there's like multiple viewpoints, and it's like I didn't really care for that. We already know the capital thinks that the districts are like animals and they despise them, right? But I'm like, to put that in a book, 500 pages, it got very boring. Like, it was pretty boring. I wasn't rooting for him and Lucy. I really hope that Lucy still is alive. I've also been watching like theories. And so there's theories that like that Lucy is still alive. There's theories that she kind of just ran off to the districts and now she's leading the rebellion. There's thoughts that Colin, I can't even say her name, but that's the daughter of Lucy and Snow, and she's getting vengeance for her mother and his wrongdoings. I went down a whole rabbit hole about like theories on Lucy Gray, because I was like, did she die? Like, is she okay? Like, what happened? I really want to know. But yeah, it was more interesting. I feel like the book should have been about Lucy. I didn't really care about Snow. Like, he's narcissistic and just an ass, right? And I don't think the point of the book was to root for him either. It would be better if it was first person, not third person. Finished three out of the 4 books that I said I was gonna read. Now we're gonna start on Powerless. This is also 500 pages. I don't know if I'm just like in a little bit of a slump, but I definitely needed to like just sit here and read. My roommate is a vampire on my Kindle. Just kind of to get like a little palette cleanser, I guess, because it's just like a little rom-com and it's cute. I like it, so I'm gonna finish that and then I will start on Powerless. This is 500 pages and this I heard is really good, so maybe that will like lift up my spirits. I don't know, we will see. So we're gonna read this. I will update you when I have something to update you with, but yeah, I haven't even started this. It's been a couple days since I've finished A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's sitting at a 3-star, a 3-star flat. So it wasn't bad. It was just really, really boring. Like, I don't really care. You know, I was hoping that maybe his backstory would be a little bit more interesting, like a villain origin story, like very, you know, kind of like that, but it was pretty boring. So we're gonna start Powerless in a few. Right now we're just chilling. I'm doing everything possible to avoid starting my statistic homework. So yeah, I'll update you. I hope I can start Powerless tonight. Hey y'all, good morning. It is a completely new day. I mean, I have wore this sweater before in another one of my videos. But it's getting colder. It's getting colder, so I've been wearing, I wear a lot of the same stuff in the house because I'm in the house, I'm not going anywhere. So you will see this shirt a lot, multiple times. I think I only vlogged 1 clip yesterday to show you guys that, not even show you guys, I didn't show you guys anything. I just let you know that I finished The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It was a little bit disappointing for me. So I think I shared my rating, but it was a 3, which is still pretty good. It was still pretty good. I did enjoy it. I think that the movie is actually going to be better, which is interesting because, you know, a lot of times the books are better than the movie. But hi. But yeah, I think it's gonna be opposite because the trailer looks amazing, so I cannot wait to watch the movie. I still love all the books. I probably will reread them often, which is why I'm so glad that I did pick up the whole trilogy, because I think about it often. Especially around this time. Bye. I see you later.
Hurry.
Okay. Hurry. All right. We gotta wrap it up. So for right now, it's still morning. So I have my matcha, and I have it in this little skeleton glass, which I think is just so cute. I put a little pumpkin creamer in here with some milk and ice. And it actually turned out really good. I like it. This is the Trader Joe's brand of matcha. It's actually really good. Really good. And then I have my water over here in a cup too. So we're feeling very festive. And now I'm starting Powerless, and I will say I have such a good feeling about this book. I am only 24 pages in this 500-page book, but I have a good feeling about it. It is dual POV, so dual point of view. And yeah, so this had like a 4 point something. I will have to go back on Goodreads and look and see what it is, but I have a good feeling about it. The cover is absolutely beautiful. It feels really nice. The pages right here, like you see the little, so pretty. So like when you look at it this way, you see like the black from the flower, and I just don't hurt Elmo now. This is really, 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 really such a pretty book. Like, and I just felt like it was kind of fitting with my little butterfly bookmark. It's like my favorite bookmark ever. I got it off of Etsy. So I'm gonna try to continue reading this today. And also, let me know if you like know of any cute silver necklaces, where to get them. I got this off of Amazon. Okay, so let me know if you know where to get like any cute silver necklaces, because I love this one. It's just an A. But see, my ring is silver, so I would like to have more silver pieces. I don't know, I don't think it matters to most people, but to me, I like to have silver and silver. Like this bracelet here is silver and silver. And I mean, that's okay, because I had this necklace first and then the ring, but I love my ring, so I need to try find like a silver, and Amazon has been failing me, so let me know. So I have not gotten that much further like at all in this book. As you see here, I changed the bookmark because don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. I started annotating. I had to underline. Yeah, don't yell at me. I got my annotating stuff out, and I had to start annotating because of this line right here. Men would likely go extinct without women to call them. Because true. Okay, so we're kind of at the point. Again, no real progress has been made. All right, I uploaded a video on YouTube, but we're 32 pages in, and so this update. There's these things called like the purging, right? So this is where the Hunger Games comes in. So the reason why I even picked up this book, Powerless, is because it's being compared to the Hunger Games. So there's this thing called the purging. And so the purging is only for elites. And elites are those who have powers. Ordinaries are just that. They're ordinary. They have no powers, no nothing. So the purging is a competition for the elites, I guess, to see who's most powerful. And so there are elites whose powers are like mundane, like they're not really special powers, but they have powers. They're still elites, but their powers are basically basic, like super basic. So our main character, Paid. She isn't ordinary, but like when she goes into the village, she acts like she's an elite, and then she has powers, and she always tells people she's psychic. And she tells people she's psychic because she's just really good at reading people. So for example, she was able to read this guard. He was like, what power do you have? Prove it. And then she kind of just read him, and it was just easy to read him and his life because he just kind of wore it all on his sleeve. Like, you're an alcoholic, you cheat on your wife. Like, she just read him, and so then he smacks the shit out of her because she read him for the filth he is. But then he's mad that, I mean, he asked for it. He was like, what's your power? And she's like, I'm psychic. Anyway, so we're finding out that there's like this purging ceremony basically to get all these shinings, which are like coins or like money, right? And so the elites participate in that, and that's kind of interesting to me because I would think that they would do it for the ordinaries, you know, kind of like the Hunger Games, because you know, they're less than, and so we see that the ordinaries are seen as less than. So it's interesting to me that the elites are seen as like these high powerful people and they have powers and stuff like that, but they're the ones going into the purge. Really into it. I feel like it's just more of a life slump than a book slump. I will come back if I have any type of update. This is kind of one that I wish I had like an Audible for too, so that way like when I'm like cleaning and stuff, because it is like I feel like every time I get on here I'm telling you guys I'm cleaning, but I clean a lot. I have kids, so you're always cleaning, you're always wiping down stuff, you're always doing laundry, so I'm always doing those things when I'm at home. So I feel like it would have been nice if I could have had an Audible for this, because then I could pick it up, highlight and stuff like that. Whereas like I have the book, so like when I have to like cook for them, I have to put this down. I'm not reading. So I really do like this too. So that's why it also would be really nice if I had an Audible for this, because then I would not be putting this down at all. Good morning, you guys. And when I mean good morning, I mean good morning. I have not even had a coffee yet, you guys. But I logged into my student portal for my classes, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I have to get some reading done, obviously, for my textbooks today. So I don't know where that leaves me to actually read the books I want to read. Looking back at some of my footage, some of it got deleted. I have not made any progress in this book. And there's another vlog I wanted to put out before the end of October. And then I can kind of like relax on trying to put out so much at one time. So that will help unstress me. And so I feel like I put myself in kind of a little bit of a slump. So I really haven't been reading this book. Yeah, I started this like so long ago and I have not finished it. I have not finished it, guys. I have not picked up the book. I kind of wanted to annotate it. So we'll see. We'll see. Because I'm reading another book, so still in the same spot, but I am caffeinated now. I'm actually reading this. I think I'll just try and I'm just trying to manage my time. And so I think today is one of the days where Isaiah gets home early, maybe. I'm hoping. But I've been texting him, so he doesn't seem too busy. So I'm hoping he gets off early. That way he can take the kids and I could do some homework, because they're not really having it today. Well, I mean, this one behind me, she's fine. But KK is not having it today, so I really haven't accomplished much. She's down for a nap, so I'm accomplishing some reading. Highlighting and annotating makes it take so much longer, but I'm not mad. I'm loving it. I'm finding lots of stuff to like actually highlight and annotate. So that's a good sign for this book, that I'm highlighting and annotating a lot. It's kind of funny that I like picked this up to finally restart it again. And she announced today the title of the second book. It's not coming out till July. So I'm glad that I am annotating this, because then when it comes time to July, I can probably just look at my annotations if I need to, like, if I feel like it's been too long since I've been inside this world. So I think that was actually good. I feel like I should have did that with Fourth Wing, but I don't think it's been that long because Fourth Wing I read in June and it's coming out in November. So I still remember a lot of stuff. I thought I was going to have to do a reread, but no, I think I should be good for that. I find it very interesting that Kai has basically been trained his whole life. So he has multiple different types of powers that he has. And his title going forward is going to be Enforcer. And he's trained his whole life to learn how to use these powers, which I find is really interesting. Just the way they treat the ordinaries kind of sucks. But we've gotten to the point where Kai and Pei have like ran into each other, and their little interaction was so cute. So you guys, are you ready for this update? Are you ready? This book is 504 pages. I'm on page 84. You heard me. 8-4. Powerless. And that's not to say it's a bad book. I really like it, but I read books slower when I annotate. And I just really wanted to annotate it. I feel like I slummed myself out. So we're going to see if this works. I'm still working on a couple videos. This included, obviously, because I'm only on page 84. But I really do like it. I like the characters. I will say, though, this book, I hear a lot of people say that this is supposed to be enemies to lovers. And I don't see it being enemies to lovers. Simply because, okay, little rant here. Yeah, enemies to lovers, I feel like people just use it so much. Just for, like, everything. Like, if there's just a smidge of, like, oh, they don't like each other, it's enemies to lovers. But, like, there's no smidge. Okay, so a little spoiler. There's no smidge. Like, they run into each other, right? And there's no hate amongst them. It's just very, like, Pei is ordinary, Kai is not. So that's not really a spoiler, because you can read the back and figure that out. But, yeah, when they run into each other and meet for the first time, it's not like she doesn't know who he is, one, but two, even when she finds out who he is, she's not like, oh my gosh, that's my enemy, I hate him. Like, they're not enemies. So I don't know why it's being marketed as enemies to lovers. And I think that's also what kind of got me a little bit, because I eat up enemies to lovers. So I went to this book fully expecting enemies to lovers, and it's not giving enemies to lovers. So I feel like it's a term that's thrown around there very loosely, because they're not really enemies. He's just a prince and she's just an ordinary, and like they really don't have any like beef. Like the first time they interacted, it was cute and flirty. So it's just like, if that was your enemy, you guys, there'd be a beef. Like there'd be issues. And there's no issues. Like he was literally flirting with her the first time he met her, and he's still thinking about her. He's like, I'm never gonna see her again, but she's still stuck in his mind because he's intrigued about her. So yeah, when I think enemies to lovers, I think like they are like complete rivals. They hate each other, and then like something happens, and then they fall in love. So if they're going to be enemies, spoiler alert, but they all both end up in the trials. I'm only 84 pages in, so it's not, I feel like that's not a big spoiler, but it might be a spoiler. But yeah, so obviously they're going to be like in competition with each other, but that's not enough enemies to lovers for me. So I think part of this too is that, I don't know if I put this video in like my book slump or my rant on Powerless. We'll see where I put this, but because that is just a rant right now. But yeah, I think that's also why sometimes it's best to go into books That's why sometimes it's best to go into books blind. Like I just bought a couple books and I'm going into them completely blind. Like I've heard of the books, but I have not gone on Goodreads. I have not done any research on it. Like for this challenge here that I'm doing, reading this book, I did go on Goodreads. I have seen the reviews, so I have such high expectations. I'm still loving it. I'm still annotating. I'm still annotating. I'm highlighting. I'm giggling. I'm loving it. It's just not enemies to lovers. So I think it's good to just always sometimes take this stuff kind of with a grain of salt, because yeah, you might go buy books strictly based off of things like enemies to lovers, and it's not. So yeah, reviews are helpful, but sometimes they're not. Especially like if y'all have different definitions of what you think is what. So I really feel like I'm loving Kai's. I really feel like I'm loving Kai's point of view in this book. It's just really different. Like his is like more like, oh my gosh, it's her. It's her. Like you could tell like he really is starting to like her, and she's just more worried about obviously the trials because she's ordinary and not an elite. So it's kind of interesting to like compare the two and what their thought process is, because she's like, oh, think about him like if she sees him.
Whoa,
but other than that, like,
can't even fucking hold that.
You know, he definitely, I would say this is like he's definitely falling first, obviously, but you know, she has more at stake, so like she really can't obviously think about that. Like she
killed him.
So I just think it's really cute that like his point of view is just like, oh my gosh, it's her, and I just think it's really cute. So we're going strong, we're highlighting and we're annotating, we're getting through. I think I just need to take a break from this book and start reading other stuff and just go back and forth like I normally do, because sometimes just getting off pattern of like what you normally do can actually just like throw you off completely. So 100 pages in, like loving it, and I don't want to put it down. So this makes me really excited to continue reading Powerless. We're actually making progress. I think big books still kind of scare me, and like I let it get to my head that like how many pages it is. So I feel like I just need to just get over that. Okay, hi friends. It in fact is it is a new day. We have a special guest star because she wants to be in the video. So cute. You see this? That's how much progress we have made in this book. I think that I made a couple errors in this video. First and foremost, I wanted to do highest versus lowest. I knew I wanted to read this book. Instead, because this vlog was supposed to be up as part of Booktober. Instead of reading this book, I went ahead and read A Court of Silver Flames, as you see in the other video. Which is fine, because I loved it. That was a 5-star, right? No regrets. Glad I read it. Theory was that I wanted to read that because that book was so big, I knew I was not going to finish it. Plus, I had the audio. So I just knew it wasn't going to finish it in time. Audio for this doesn't come out till November 7th. Granted, this is smaller than A Court of Silver Flames. So I was thinking, you know, I could just, it'd be fine to read. Which it is. It's fine to read. Usually 500 pages would not take me 3 weeks to read. It would take me maybe, if I steadily read it, like if I was reading this every day, I might be finished in a week and a half, because realistically some days I only read like 20 pages, especially if I'm not doing a challenge. So realistically this is probably like a week and a half. Honestly, it's like 500 pages. mistake number 2. I went to check to see how many pages this book is. I skimmed to the last page, ended up reading and knowing what happened. So now I feel like I'm rushing myself to see what happens. Another thing, so read it, saw the ending of it, and now I'm rushing because I'm like, I read the last line. Read the last line. So now there's a rush. There's no rush because I know no one is actually really rushing me to read this. If I want to take a month to read this, I could take a month to read it. No one's rushing me but me. 3, I'm rushing. And I feel like I'm not enjoying it because I'm rushing. And I knew it was already going to take longer because it's already going to take me like a week and a half to realistically read this, right? I then decided to annotate it, right? So that's problem 3 and 4, or yeah, 3 and 4. I'm rushing and I'm trying to annotate it. Okay, when you annotate, you can't rush. You can't. You're reading slower because you're taking your time. You're underlining. You're highlighting. Well, I mean, at least for me, especially because I have only annotated like 3 books. Why I decided to annotate this book is because this line right here, my first annotation, because I didn't annotate anything else in this book. Men would likely go extinct without women to coddle them. And then from there on, I started highlighting and underlining because I was like, yes, I'm about to love this book. I am enjoying it. I am having a good time reading it, but you know, we are only 31% through this book. And I started this in the middle of October. I think I said in the other clip that this is not 5-star. I can feel it. It's not 5-star. It's not. I'm having a good time. I like it. It's not 5-star. I don't know what the rating's going to be until I figure out how the ending got to be how the ending is. So I can't really say what I feel like it's going to be. But I just know it's not 5-star. And I think that's also problem number 5 is that this book is so highly talked about and hyped up on TikTok that I think, for one, I was expecting more. 2, I feel I feel bad saying that I'm not giving it 5 and I'm not loving it as much as everyone else says that they're loving it. And I think that's a problem with like TikTok and like YouTube and overhyped books, is that when you read it, you think that something's wrong with you, but you have to remember that everyone's tastes are different, right? So I really thought I was gonna love this because I love fantasies, and this is also like supposed to be enemies to lovers. To me, this was not enemies to lovers, so that's also a problem, is that it's overhyped, and I'm hearing all these things about this book, and I'm like, this is not enemies to lovers to me. Like, yes, she hates the elites, or she hates the king. I'm also trying not to give a lot away, but Peyton, our main female character, she hates the king, which rightfully so with what happened. We still haven't got much into exactly that because she's painted to be different, but I'm like, how is she different? Like, I guess she's ordinary, and then there's the elites who have powers, and there's the ordinaries who are ordinary. She's ordinary, but she's still different. So I'm trying to and they're not giving any clues on what is different about her. They keep saying she's different. The author herself, I guess we're going on to number 6. The author herself said that this book is supposed to be like Hunger Games and Red Queen. I DNF'd the Red Queen because I had it on audio. I listened to like maybe 15% and then I DNF'd it. So if this has anything to do with the Red Queen, then maybe that's why I'm not highly loving it. But I highly love the Hunger Games. So I'm like, do I need to give Red Queen another shot? Because I still have the audio. I just didn't finish it. I just marked it as finished and like moved on with my life. But it is very tropey. Like, there's not a single original thing in this book at all. And I feel like I also maybe have read this at the wrong time, considering the fact that I just finished my Hunger Games purge. Because I watched the movies and I watched the... No, I didn't. I don't think I watched the last movie, actually. No, I need to watch the last movie. And I finished A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Like, I already finished that book. And I'm waiting for the movies to come out in November for that. So I think maybe this came at the wrong time, considering the fact that I just read that and the Hunger Games is like up here. And so you're telling me this is supposed to be like the Hunger Games. I now hold this book to a high standard, of extremely high standard. And it's not meaning that. I'm still enjoying it, having a good time, annotating, loving it. But this book is taking me so long to read. I was going to start a vlog, a realistic vlog of realistically reading, because I've been in a slump. And then I picked this book back up, and I keep wanting to read this. I really do just want to try and finish this, and I feel like I'm rushing myself to finish it, and it's frustrating me that I'm only getting like maybe 20 or 10 pages read a day. Like yesterday I read 20 pages of this in 30 minutes. And I'm like, I swear I read faster than that. So I think it's also frustrating me that I'm reading it so slow. So I'm like, maybe I should stop highlighting and underlining it. But like, I mean, I could, because I feel like I would have to reread this or do like a refresher. So maybe I can pick up the audio and do a refresher before book 2 comes out, because I definitely feel like I'm definitely gonna finish the trilogy, because it's supposed to be I don't know. We'll see how book 2 is, because book 2 might change everything. I also haven't finished book 1, so we'll see. But the ending of this book, like, really does have me rushing, trying to figure out how that happened. So I feel like there is a good potential coming up. We've now reached the trials for this part of the book, and I'm kind of sad that it starts off in Kai's point of view. I was kind of wishing that it would start in Hayden's, because, you know, I just kind of wonder what her thoughts are, because Kai has been ripped from his bed, and so we're going through his thoughts and stuff. And so I feel like at this point, I love dual point of view, but at this point I kind of wish it wasn't dual point of view, because I really want to see more of Peyton, like her perspective of being in the trials, because she's an ordinary and not an elite. So it'd be more interesting seeing like all her thoughts and everything. I mean, luckily the chapters are short, they're not super long, so I'm pretty sure we'll get her point of view soon, hopefully. But some chapters, it's like back to back, their perspective, instead of switching every chapter. So we'll see. We're now at page 202. We're making progress. I think it's best for me to stop highlighting and doing that. I mean, I still probably will, but I think it's better that I don't put a lot of emphasis on that, because sometimes when you put a lot of emphasis on annotating, you can over annotate, and I feel like I felt like I wasn't annotating enough. So now I have officially finished both of these books, Powerless and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. It's been a couple days now since I have finished Powerless, so I thought I would go ahead and wrap it up and let you know my final thoughts and opinions. I'll start with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because I kind of already told you. I think I told you guys this was like a 3. I think this would be a 3.25. At times, this book was a little bit boring. This basically follows President Snow and like his viewpoint and back during the 10th annual Hunger Games, how him being a mentor and how that kind of affected him. I personally feel like this would have been better if it was first person, and also I kind of wish it was in Lucy's side of the story, because we already know how the Capitol is, what they think of everyone. So I'm like, it was kind of interesting. I feel like it would have been more better if it was either, like I said, in Lucy's viewpoint, or if it was more focused on Snow, maybe his inner monologue, figuring out exactly why he was the way that he was. I mean, obviously because of the way he was raised, but other stuff, it would be really interesting to actually be inside of his mind, because this was third person. So this was a 3.25. I believe the movie comes out this month. I think it's the end of this month. So I'm dying to see the movie. I just told my fiance that we have to go on a date night to go see this movie, because I just really want to see it. And I think the movie might actually be better than the book, as I said before in previous clips, which, you know, usually the book is better than the movie. So this got a 3.25, and this is actually the lowest rated book on my from Goodreads. I think this was like a 3 something. I'll have to insert it here because I just don't remember what it was. Here, okay? This is Powerless. This is a fantasy, and people have compared this to Hunger Games. They've compared it to The Red Queen. As you see in the clips, I struggled reading this. This book took me 1.5 months to read. That's not to say that it was a bad book. After finally finishing it, I will say that I will give this a 3.5. With that being said, I still do want to read the second book to see, because the way it left off at the ending, I just feel like the second book is going to be way better. And sometimes it's like that with trilogies or books, multiple books. The second book is sometimes better. Sometimes the first book is the best book. You never know. But the way that it ended off, it just left so much room for growth for this author. Back from the new book, the book 2, Reckless. And I'm like, I want that book right now. So I definitely think book 2 I'm going to love, based off the ending and based off what I read already from the next book. I feel like that is definitely, the next book is definitely more going to be enemies to lovers than this is, simply because Kai in the book, he kind of already had like an attraction to Pei. So I felt like it wasn't giving real true enemies to lovers. Like, yes, they were enemies in the trial. Yes, Pei didn't like Kai, but the feeling wasn't really mutual. He didn't really hate her. But going into book 2, the dynamic completely switches, and I'm so ready for book 2. So 3.5 is still not bad. Sometimes it's best to just go into books blind. Like, yeah, these reviews help, but sometimes when you do too much, it just kind of ruins it for you. And so anytime you compare a book to The Hunger Games, for me, I automatically set the standards like this, because I love The Hunger Games. I love the movies, and I love the books. So I automatically kind of shoot it higher. I'm an enemies to lovers girl, so that automatically shoots the bar higher. So these kind of things automatically just like raise the roof. And so like when it doesn't meet expectations, it can kind of like just slump you out, because it did put me in a slump, because I just expected this to be like a 5-star. Still a good book, just not a 5-star read for me. And so I felt really bad, and I kind of didn't even want to post this, because everyone I see is giving this book 5 stars, and I'm giving it a 3.5. Yeah, let me know what you think below. If you made it this far, go ahead. I think it's funny how I started this vlog with my hair curly, and now I straightened it again, and I'm wearing the same Ghostbusters shirt. So let's leave, even though it's no longer October. This was supposed to be a part of my Booktober. So let's just go ahead and leave a ghost one last time. Wrap up Booktober, even though this is going out in November. I also realized I didn't even record an intro. We're just gonna get right into it. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye.